looks like Melville and Byron have some stuff to say.
Yes? Well done, Wonke. You did something meaningful there. And now we know what Cornelius was up to as well. Nothing mysterious, just a father trying to help his daughter.
You did a remarkable thing, 1K. Helping a father save his daughter. Defying death itself. Claiming something back that seemed lost to time. I can't think of anything more noble or more hopeful. I'm proud of you. He is the one person who never gave up, who never lost sight of what matters.
The Star Tower is... You know how like when you finish one in one of the areas it will kind of like gray out? This is not grayed out. I don't know, I don't think I have to do anything else over there. I think I said shortly ago I was hoping that once we save Miranda maybe Yakut will come with us, but that's a silly goose comment. We already went to New Jerusalem and recruited Melville. We lost our chance with him. So it's just us, again. Went to New Jerusalem. The order of events was I got struck by lightning and then woke up there. And then I talked to everybody in New Jerusalem. And then we went out on our whole expedition. And here we are. So I think with Melville and Yakut, you definitely have to say the right thing after you find out about Miranda's death. Which... I was just kind of like patting Yakut on the head, like, yeah, okay, like, I'm really sorry you're going through this, but like, with Melville, I don't know, it felt easy. It felt like we could just be like, yes, let's do the thing, let's make waves, let's bring about change, and she loved that. There was like 2 or 3 different conversations with her that I remember thinking, this feels like an important conversation right now. I cannot recall when those are. I just remember feeling that in the moment. With Yakut, I only ever felt that in that one conversation with him after you find out about Miranda's death. I don't know if there was another, or if there's really one conversation, gate, one instance for both of them where you win them or you lose them. Don't know.
Do not falter now, son of man. Have faith in yourself and the work of generations.
You were in my dream. But in my dream you were me. And I was Elohim. I made trials for you, but then I was afraid you'd overcome them. Thank you. I'm awake now, but I'm still caught in my loop. Like that robot from that old poem. I don't know what to do. I've thought about it over and over and over, but I still don't have an answer. That's impossible. Then I'm done. I'm done trying to choose. Done trying to lead. It's up to you now. You've been in my dreams and in my nightmares. You're connected to me and to the machine. You can choose. You have to choose. Break the loop.
It's so funny how, like, before it was just like she's tired and she can't choose, and now she's like energized and can't choose. I'm so like, is there really something different about the actual ending scene now? Or was that it? I think I actually just kind of want to see different stuff. Maybe I'll do this one again last. So we'll go down the list. my god.
I was stuck in my loop for so long that I forgot how much Cornelius loved me. I forgot that to save our family, he would move heaven and earth. And with 1K's help, that's what he did. And when I saw them again, for the first time in so many years, I didn't care about the machine or the theory of everything.
Okay.
All that matters in the end,
I get that.
is love.
So let's shut it down.
You have made a choice that is not a choice. You ended your story without an ending. Many will call you a fool, but I call you wise, creature of clay. Answers are dangerous, and there is no end to the questions we must ask. So let the future bring what it may, and trust that you will find understanding in time.
I'm done with these losers.
I still don't know whether they were ready. Maybe I was wrong to be afraid. Maybe I wasn't. What I do know is that it can't be one person's choice. If we want to build a better future, we'll have to build it together.
Hey, can you come back and help out? These guys can't stop arguing.
You did what you had to, 1K. They'll figure out the rest for themselves. After all, we're human. We always find a way.
Close my eyes, chasing stars. I dream of worlds
I really liked that, weirdly. the flow of it, it felt right. Now the what happened maybe wasn't the best, but like it was paced really well and it was still really beautiful. Now I actually kind of wish I did all 3 endings before I did any of the golden puzzles. Like, are there 6 completely different endings, you know? Like, the same stuff happens in some of, you know, 2, 2, and 2, but the whole, like, actual scenes, are they super different? Apparently I'm gonna have to look that up. Who's that? Who is it?
The flame has blinded you. You can still save yourself.
Extinguish it, creature of clay.
You were in my dream. But in my dream you were me. And I was Elohim. I made trials for you, but then I was afraid you'd Thank you. I'm awake now. I don't know what to do. I've thought about it. That's impossible. Then I'm done. I'm done trying to choose. Done trying to lead. It's up to you now. You've been in my dreams and in my nightmares. You're connected to me and to the machine. You can choose. You have to choose. Break the loop.
It's not the choice I would have made. But the truth is, in that moment I didn't care. I have lived for more than 1,000 years, and in all that time, the only constant I have ever found is love. Love is why we are more than machines. Love is why the universe is more than clockwork. And on that day, thanks to 1K, love won a victory over death.
As the flame dies, the shadows it cast must fade away. Do not weep for us, creature of clay. We were never more than phantoms, and nothing is lost in our passing. And remember, the flame is gone, but the earth endures. Step outside this cave and behold the living world that you have saved. There, at last, you will find all the answers you have sought for so long.
I understand that you were upset. I'm not exactly pleased myself. But 1K made an ethical choice. He did what he felt was necessary, and we can't begrudge him that.
Sorry,
On the
bud.
contrary, it's up to us to build a future that can convince 1K and those like him that we're not going to repeat the same mistakes. As mayor, my first priority is to bring growth back to New Jerusalem, to start imagining what we can accomplish together if we make use of our intelligence and our problem-solving skills.
History of malfunctions?
Hiya, Kate.
Hi.
hi. I wanted to ask you,
Yes?
I wanted to ask
Crying,
you
oh my god.
out, like, on a date.
A date.
Yeah, date. It's this whole human tradition thing, but yeah.
I'm in. Let's go.
Really? Now?
Why? Are you busy?
No. No, well, I mean, let me check. No, I'm good. I'm good. No, of course not. Let's go.
Just let it be, Pellegrino. I'll fix it. No, it's okay. You've helped enough.
Do you think it's over?
It's never over, but it's up to them now. They'll figure it out.
I'm glad you're back.
So am I. This is our home, and I'm not going anywhere.
That was like so incredibly hopeful. Truly, in the end, it was hopeful. Like, that was a really satisfying ending in a lot of ways. Even like, see, that's what I really was missing from the very first ending that I saw, was like just like those little tiny vignettes of what the robots are doing now. That ending just had like 1K create something out of nothing and a bunch of robot like ghosts standing around him. It wasn't even their like corporeal bodies, I don't think. And that's what I was missing from that. Was I loved seeing Melville berating Pellegrino for just a second, you know, stuff like that. Just little bits of what they're up to. So how does that compare to the second ending, though? I mean, I really love that one, too. It's kind of funny that, like, Yakut wasn't in that ending, but he was in this one? I don't get that. I don't have to watch the second one again. Like, what was that again? It was 1K walking up to the three of them. You know, what I'm excited for in DLC is possibly more character development for Miranda. I don't know if we're gonna get any of that, of course, but like, just a few lines she had after waking up was so like she could do a complete 180 with her personality. She was reckless and confident and so wanting to know everything, curious, and then after she woke up and she was like, oh, sorry guys, I fucked up. And I wonder if her and Yakut, because they kind of follow similar paths in that way. Yakut starts out, he's like pie in the sky. I met Byron on the streets and I was so like young and I wanted to do stuff and explore, and then by the end, because of what we said to him, I think he becomes more like, this is dangerous. We should not do this. We should not be messing with this technology. He becomes more cautious. And Miranda, at the end of the game, kind of did the same thing, but we don't get a really long look into it, obviously. So I'd be interested to see more where that could go. What could have been? That's what he's thinking. See, that's sad to me. That's so sad. Poor Byron. I wonder what the speech is if he isn't the mayor. Somebody else gives that little speech in that ending. Maybe they're not so, oh, 1K made a bad decision. Maybe they say something else. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back and see the ending. Actually, I might just look these up on YouTube now to see the endings, because I've seen 3 endings in my own game now, and now I need to see the 3 alternates to those endings, or more, because like I said, Byron, somebody else could be mayor, so they'll say something else. So yeah, let's go to the internet. So this should be the 100% version. Wow, they have a very wide angle of view.
I'd like to think that 1K made the right choice. But to be honest, in that moment I didn't care. I have lived for more than 1,000 years, and in all that time, the only constant I have ever found is love. Love is why we are more than machines. Love is why the universe is more than clockwork. And on that day, thanks to 1K, love won a victory over death.
Come, my friends. 'Tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
He's by himself. Oh, so this scene happens now anyway. It's so funny, like, in my ending, I remember distinctly there were all those like robot kind of ghosts standing with 1K in the tree. But then it just ends.
Hiya, Kate.
Hi. Hi. I wanted to ask you,
Yes?
I wanted to ask you out, like, on a date.
A date?
Yeah, a date. It's this old human tradition thing, but yeah.
I'm in. Let's go.
Really? Now?
Why? Are you busy?
No. Well, I mean, let me check. No, I'm good. No, of course not. Yeah, let's go.
Checking the output. It's working. Pellegrino, did you just actually do it right? I think that's a first. I'm almost proud of you.
We had to put him down in the bad ending. Oh, it's snowing?
Do you think we'll get it right this time?
I think so. I'm sure we'll make mistakes, but we'll learn from them. What do you think?
Same thing I always thought. We can do anything, as long as we're together.
That does not necessarily look better. It looks grim. by Trevor. So I think the endings, there's probably just like a few different voice lines. And the scenes with Cornelius and Miranda and Athena probably just don't appear. Lantern guy. So this is the ending where we just say, let's shut it down for now. Which leaves the door open, potentially, you know. I think it's gonna be impossible to know who this is. It looks like somebody who's mostly, you know, kind of a pale color, white, ivory, silver, gold maybe. So it could be Athena, it could be Cornelius or Miranda, it could be 1K. It could be Herman. See, this happened to me in the second ending. But then it leads into the scene with Miranda, Cornelius, and Athena. So that's probably just cut.
Your continued faith in our capacity for self-improvement gives me great hope for our future.
Thank you, Mayor Rand. The loss of such a great source of power may seem unfortunate, but this may be our finest opportunity to return to the simple moral ideals which brought us here. Let us go forward using only what we need to demonstrate our independence from these technological idols.
See, this is the normal society, and I think it looks nice. And then we have advanced society, where you can see they've kind of stripped all the trees. They've needed to use everything for resources. It looks a little dystopian. Doesn't look great exactly. It's like they somehow didn't manage to strike the balance. And this is their society. This is not the humans' ruin, which I thought it might have been for just a split second, but it looks like relatively new, like, buildings with some greenery on top maybe, but it looks like they were maybe built that way intentionally. Well, that was a lot to think about. I think I'm gonna walk around and look for Easter eggs while I think about it and talk about it. See, this is where, like, doing a stream would actually be fun, because I know I'll get comments, but it would be kind of fun to talk about it in real time. I'm really not set up to stream right now. And I don't know if I will be at any point, but yeah, so I'm sure everybody's got theories, like, what the hell? They really tried to balance the endings out by not making any one seem too good or too bad. I think that a lot of people, before I look into any of this, I'm gonna bet that a lot of people do think that the ending with the advanced technology ending is probably the best. And I don't know if I agree with that. Just because, well, apparently they couldn't do it right. Apparently they continued to destroy the planet even after talking about it so much. Not doing that. That balance we talked about, they didn't go with that. So, like, they really they didn't learn. Athena and Cornelius are at the end there being like, yeah, I'm sure we'll learn from our mistakes and we'll get it right this time, even if we keep making mistakes. And then they stand there looking out over this destroyed vista with no life except for their little planes and stuff evident. That, to me, is so dissonant and dystopian. I don't think that I can like that ending with that particular scene. Fundamentally, I dislike that. It doesn't sit right with me. Oh, you know what? There was, I noticed, okay, that, like, purple glowy floating chessboard I found in that one area. I saw another one of those things from kind of a distance in a different area, and I didn't end up getting to it. So I want to find those. Maybe there's one in each area. It was the Anthropic Hills, the one that I remember seeing but not getting to. Maybe I'll go there. Because I think I remember where it is. I don't know if there's any Easter eggs in this area. Yeah, let's see if I can find that. Because that first one, it wasn't like hidden or anything. And the one in Anthropic Hills was pretty easy to see too, so I don't think those things are supposed to be hard to find. I do find it interesting that Athena was putting flowers on Trevor's grave at the end. She really does feel like she has to carry on for Alexandra Drennan specifically, doesn't she? She identified with Dr. Drennan so deeply during her experience in the simulation. So that's probably just her way of honoring Alexandra Drennan more than Trevor, even. But I thought it was really sweet, thinking about it that way, you know. She's just honoring the, you know, progenitor. I am absolutely delighted for Yakut. You know, it's funny, we don't see Alcatraz in any of these endings. He doesn't show up. I think that's kind of... I mean, he's a member of our party for, like, the entire game. And then, at the very end, Byron basically tells him to, you know, fuck off, and we don't hear from him again after that. In any of the endings that I saw there on YouTube. So... I liked Alcatraz as a character. I mean, he's just supposed to be a foil for Byron, but, you know, he held his own, I think. Oh, there. This thing actually has collision. And it is surrounded by butterflies. This looks like one of the big towers that that connect these big lasers. Is this where that fan is? I think it is. Huh. Okay. Okay, let's see if this... No, I don't think so. Okay. Alright, maybe let's check out a different area. This area is so, like, there's so much going on. We go back to the beginning, maybe. I think that I find myself a little bit disappointed in some of the big picture decisions that they made for this game. And this is by no means saying, oh, it's a bad game. No. I love this game. I have had such a great time playing it. I cannot wait for the DLC. I think this is fantastic, but let's just do a little bit of, you know, critical analysis. I mean, if ever there was a game that wanted you to do a little bit of critical analysis, I think it'd be this one. I feel a little bit disappointed by how they chose their main themes. Like, the main decision that we ended up having to make was the, you know, just because we can, does that mean we should theme? You know, we have the power, does that mean we should use it theme? And it's a good theme. It's a great theme for this setting. It really is. And it continues from the first game, where, you know, I believe Alexandra Drennan probably said some things about how, like, you know, she was challenged on even doing her project of keeping humanity alive. But she did it anyway. Actually, I know this game had some things to say about that. I guess I don't remember exactly from the first game how much they really talked about that, though. But we did talk about Jefferson Goldblum and Jurassic Park a little bit. You know, it's very apt. It fits very well. Just because we can have the power, does that mean we should use it? But that ended up being the main focus, especially as we got closer and closer to the end of this game, and I found that disappointing because when we first began, I was just so excited for the implications of where we could go with the story and the themes of what is society? What is a good society versus a bad society? Is there even a such thing truly as a good society? And we kind of sidestepped that. We didn't really go into depth on that. We brought up things like resources and classism just a little bit, but they didn't want to like keep going with that. And that disappointed me because I think that would have been way more interesting. Like, they I don't know. Maybe they couldn't think up a good enough like decision at the end for that kind of theme. And I'm not saying it would be easy to come up with something like that. No, I'm sure making something like this is incredibly difficult. Every time I learn more about video games, right, I get more amazed that they are made at all, let alone, you know, are good. So, please don't think I'm being unkind. But of course, everything deserves a bit of critical analysis, like I said. Think of your very favorite movie ever. You can probably do some critical analysis on it and, you know, come up with some things that you wish were a little bit different. And it does bother me a little bit that, you know, I really thought the main idea here was going to be talking about civilization and societies and individuals within societies. You know, that's where we really seem to be going in the first part of the game. And then it slowly pivoted into, oh no, we have this great power and we have to choose how to use it. And that's fine. They had to like contrive why there were puzzles in the real world. And I know the first game received most of its criticism was like, oh, the puzzles and the plot don't really go together. And I just completely disagree with that. I think they go so well together. I think it's almost perfect. This felt contrived to me, way more than the first game. But I accept it. It's still great. That part is, yes, it feels contrived, but that's fine. It's fine. It's allowed to feel a bit contrived. That's not really a main like criticism. It's just a note. There's like certain things that I can totally accept. Like if, okay, it feels a bit contrived. Well, it's fine. That's fine. That doesn't really bother me that much. What does bother me though is the way they seem to not want to say, like, they really don't want to step into certain issues. They never once said the words like capitalism or socialism or communism. They might have said the word anarchy somewhere in there, but like when we're talking about building society, why don't we talk about building society? Why don't we use the language of what societies can be and whatnot? These guys know those terms. They're very well read, right? I assume. But they didn't want to go there. They didn't want to go there. And also I need to watch whatever making of stuff there is out so far for this. I know there's some dev interviews. That's how we know that they were working on a DLC. Is there some interview where they mentioned it? I have not watched or read any such interviews yet, so I don't know. I do have to still look that up. What were their intentions with all this exactly? So, these are just more ghostly manifestations of Athena's consciousness, because these things don't exist in the real world. They were only in the simulation, and that would come from Athena. I kind of wonder what their meaning was with the buck in that ending. Which even ending was that? That was the destroy it ending, where we kneel in front of a buck. We have done you a great favor, Sir Buck. We have destroyed the thing that would destroy your habitat. I gotta say, honestly, the destroy ending might feel like the best one to me at this moment. I see it right now as not getting rid of progress. We're not saying no to progress. We're saying no to exponential progress, I guess we can call it that for just lack of a better word. There's no reason, absolutely no reason to think that in the destroy ending that they can't still have progress at all. Cornelius and Athena were standing there looking out over a city that had been built with forests and stuff around it. That felt right to me. Like, of all the endings, even though Byron was disappointed in me. Sorry, Dad. Oh, that ending of him, like, reaching for the stars. That did hit my heart a little bit. But ultimately, this is something that we've talked about in the comments of my videos a little bit, right? This weird spectrum that they made you take a stand on, sort of. Either, like, infinite progress, where we destroy everything around us, or we stagnate and die. And like that, I reject that spectrum. I reject that those are our two options. I'll have to think about it and read about it, listen to the interviews, see what y'all have to say, and then, oh, maybe I can finally start watching Let's Plays myself if I have time. I do find it frustrating that they chose to put the Easter eggs in like 2 months, 3 months after release. If I had known that, I probably would have waited. Everyone's like, oh, that's what they did with the first game, so you should have known. Like, I did not know that they did that with the first game. How would I have known that? I feel like there's no reason to not feel hopeful after the destroy ending. Why should I feel hopeless with that ending? I feel like we continue on. We make new goals, and we strive for them. We don't stagnate and die just because we suddenly don't have the meaning of life in a mathematical equation. We can still do things like space travel and all sorts of things. I don't understand the binary there that they created. I don't get it. And maybe someone like Miranda, I don't know about Yakut, but Miranda would be a perfect person to lead from there because her idealism has been, you know, so tempered with her experience at this point. So she might be able to strike that balance now. I don't know why we had to have Melville berating Pellegrino in the bad ending though. Like, why was that necessary? Oh, Pellegrino, we don't have the mathematical equation for the meaning of life. You're worthless. What? I guess I'm falling more and more into that. I like the destroy the megastructure ending, which is so not what I thought I was gonna end up thinking. So let me think about the second ending a little bit more, because I've been kind of skipping over that one in my head. The second ending, momentum deferred. Sounds like a good name for that. We turn it off. The knowledge is all there for somebody else, potentially, to come along and use it. Is that a good thing to have lying around? Because that extra bonus scene at the end, there's somebody hanging out in there. They want the meaning of life. They want the meaning of life equation. I cannot think of another reason somebody would be in there, right? What other reason would anyone have for being in the megastructure after we turn it off, other than to figure out how to turn it back on, how to use it? It is funny though to think that that's the only ending in which all of this stays up. We don't destroy it all. But Athena still sort of comes back to society. She goes back to her family. Alright, I can't find the thing in this area, so let's go to the next one. You know, I'm not ready for this to be over though. I'm not ready. Where have I seen this before? I don't think this was here. Was it? We can probably expect DLC sometime this summer, maybe? It took about 8 months, I think, for them to release Road to Gehenna after Talos Principle, so maybe they'll follow a similar timeline here. I'm just like, I'm so stumped thinking about what that DLC could possibly be about. I've got a few ideas, but I don't know if any of them really seem right. I feel like they made all the endings satisfying in a way, each in their own way. Like even the Leap of Faith, before 100%ing everything. Honestly, what makes that one so good is just Byron's voice actor reading the poem. That is so, oh my god, it's so good. He does such an incredible job with that reading. It's so like, it's just stunning, honestly. And that's probably like my favorite part about that whole ending. The rest of it is, the implications are a little bit grim, I think, honestly. I guess it's so funny. Here's what I want to do now. I want to play this game again, and I'm going to side with Alcatraz on it, on everything. Because apparently, Byron's Way ends up destroying a lot of natural stuff. Against their own wishes. None of them wanted to do that, and they do it anyway. Apparently. The devs are really like, no, there's no such thing as these guys striking a balance, just like there isn't for humanity right now, because we just collectively can't do it, apparently. If humanity had the theory of everything, there would be some troll that would ruin it for the rest of us. And I firmly believe that. But I also firmly believe that most people would do amazing, great things, but it just, that one troll would ruin it for everybody. Yeah, that would absolutely be the case. And I don't really think that that's what happened here in the ending. It's really just that they didn't do what they thought they would with it. They went too far. At least that's what it looks like. Alright, I've been babbling for probably long enough. It's a good way to process though, because it's a lot. And I'm gonna continue to process. You know, I'm sure the rest of you will too. I think that I might do a second playthrough. I haven't decided yet if I will record it. Tell me if this sounds good. I can do a second playthrough where I make all different choices in, you know, social media and dialogue. I probably would skip recording puzzles altogether and just cut together the parts that that would be different, where I would make different dialogue decisions. It would probably just be, I don't know, a couple episodes of an alternate playthrough, basically. If I don't record that, I will probably just do it on my own. Haven't really decided. But I also did say I wanted to come back to these and see if I could solve them the right way. Yeah, we'll see. But also, there will be more games coming to the channel at some point. I wanted to play Case of the Golden Idol at some point. I don't know if that'll be next. I might save that one because it looks really good. I might do one like there's a few games on Steam that were free or really cheap and look really short. I might do one or two of those, just 1 or 2 episodes, you know. I want to play Viewfinder. I want to play Riven, since we did the Mist remaster, and I want to get through that whole series. What else? Because my time is more limited, I probably am not going to get around to playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on the channel. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think that's probably okay. So yeah, while we wait for the DLC for this, whenever that comes out, I'll probably, yeah, do one of those games I mentioned, or some of these short ones that look good. Scene Investigators came out recently. I might get that. But yeah, I'm still open to recommendations. I ask for recommendations so often, but every time somebody drops a game I haven't heard of that looks good. So please recommend games you would want to see on the channel, or that you think I should play in general, or that people should play at all. And yeah. And I'll probably still do a follow-up episode or recording for Talos Principle even before the DLC comes out. Oh, Byron, I'm so sorry that I failed you